Well, hello to my YouTube family. I'm getting to know you guys. You guys are getting to know me. As I said in another video before, before I did a live over here on YouTube, I was under the impression that a vast majority of the people that follow me on this platform came over from other social media platforms, specifically TikTok. And I know that's not the case now, so don't start commenting that that's not the case. This video is about something else. I have 1.5 million followers on TikTok, so I assumed some of those people started to migrate to YouTube. I have over 20,000 on Instagram, so forth and so on, right? So I assumed that was the migration that was happening. People were finding me on YouTube as a result of being on other apps. That is not the case. I'm building a whole new community here on YouTube of people, and I'm loving every minute of it, right? I'm loving the comments, I'm loving the feedback, I'm loving the interaction. And YouTube, you're stuck with me. I'm not going anywhere. You're going to get daily content out of me until the day I fucking die or get canceled. But it dawned on me that I talk about a lot of things over on TikTok that I haven't talked about over here on YouTube yet. And one of them would be the fact that I don't know if you guys are aware, but I've written a couple of books. I assumed you already knew that because you were from other social media platforms. But for those of you who did not know that, I have written and self-published 2 books that are available in paperback and ebook formats, and let me tell you about them. The first book is entitled A Grateful Life, the life story of a husband, father, and taco-loving deadhead. This is the memoir of the first 45 years of my life. I was blessed, and I'm not a religious person, so I don't say that word lightly, but I was blessed to be able to retire early at the age of 45. And it was at that point in time that I started to write this book. This book here, as I said, tells the story of the first 45 years of my life. In this book, I discuss my mother, my father, my mother and father's families, the unusual circumstances surrounding my birth. I was the unwanted byproduct of a one-night stand between a 27-year-old drag racer and a 16-year-old high school girl. I then go into a chapter about the severe physical child abuse I suffered at the hands of my mother between the ages of 8 and 13. I talk about getting out of that situation and starting having a fresh new start to my life when I ran away from my mother's to go live with my father. I then talk about dropping out of high school, traveling the country. I spent a summer working for a carnival traveling, and then the following 3-ish years following the Grateful Dead. And so there was a 4-year period in my life where I lived out of a tent and hitchhiked back and forth across the country. That's in this book. Then falling ass backwards into a landscape career after the death of Jerry Garcia, turning that into a 26-year career where I ultimately owned my own company for the last 6 years of it. I talk about meeting my wife, getting married, having our kids, settling out here in the suburbs of Shanahan, then taking care of my father in the last 4 years of his life, and then finally retiring at the age of 45. All of that is encompassed in a compressed storytelling in this book right here. Once again, is available in paperback and ebook formats. The front cover is a picture taken at our favorite Mexican restaurant at the time. It's some tacos and some rice with some chips and salsa and a margarita. And there's a map to the city of Chicago, or the Chicagoland area, and my car keys. And then there's this ticket. And the title to the book is on the ticket. I had 300 of these physical tickets printed up. I used ticket number 001 for the cover of the book, and the remainder of them, I punched a hole in it, ran some hemp through it, some hemp string, put some beads on it, and sold them, still have a bunch of them, as bookmarks. I'll have to maybe offer those back up on my website. Anyway, the title or the ticket here reads A Grateful Life, presented by Tom Powell Jr., the life story of a husband, father, and taco-loving deadhead. So the title, or the show that you're going to go see with the ticket, is the title to the book. The date of the event on the ticket is Saturday, May 13th, 1972. That's my birthday. Doors open at 12:13 p.m. That's the time I was born. BYOB 420 friendly. That's self-explanatory. The location of the concert, Gottlieb Hospital, Melrose Park, Illinois. That's where I was born. Price of admission, $6.07. I was 6 pounds, 7 ounces when I was born. And then admit one, lawn seating. So that's the first book. The second book is Dearest, Renee, Letters from the Coronavirus War of 2020. Now, what this is this is a series of 70-something odd letters, quote unquote, that I wrote to my wife during quarantine. My wife worked, she was one of those essential workers and had to go to work every day. And I was already retired at the time. So when the world shut down and the kids got sent home to finish their school from home, I started writing a letter, quote unquote, to my wife every day in the form of a Facebook post. And I started each letter, Dearest Renee. And then I would describe the happenings that went on here in the house, but I would talk about it from a standpoint of the house being a fort on the front of a war, the children being the soldiers, the pets being the livestock. And it was like in the style of those, I don't know if you've ever seen those old memes where, you know, a Civil War soldier is writing back to his love. And he's like, Dearest Prudence, morale is low. All may be lost if something doesn't happen. Right? It was in that style. And so I compiled all of those letters when I was done. And there's a surprise ending to those letters as the reason why those letters ended in the book. I compiled all of those letters and I put them into this book right here, Dearest Renee. Interesting about this cover is this patch. It says, I know it's backwards because of the way where I'm filming it, but it says quarantined COVID-19 veteran, right? I bought this, a physical patch. I own it. It's back here. I bought the patch, and then I took my son's black and gray camo underwear, laid it out on the deck out in the back of the house, made sure it was wrinkle-free, put the patch on top of it, stood over it with the camera, and that's how we got that cover. Anyway, for those of you on YouTube that did not know, those are available, once again, in paperback and ebook formats at the link in my bio. You get your book quicker if you buy it in ebook format. You download it right to your Kindle or device or whatever. I get more money if you buy it in paperback. And no, I can't sign it because I don't possess them. There is no warehouse or crates of these things. It's called direct ship. You order a physical copy, they print it and send it directly to you and dump my money into my account. If you want it signed, you will have to send it to me to my P.O. box, which is in my bio, with prepaid packaging to send it back. Because if I'm signing them and then paying to ship them back, I'm not making any money on any of the books. So, to my YouTube family, there's the story of my books. Buy a few. It'll help a brother out. I'm working on a third book, have been for the past 3.5 years. It's about the history of marijuana in the United States of America and the failed war on drugs. Hopefully I'll figure out a time to get back to finishing that book and get that out to you at some point in time. I've been the worst about keeping up with writing on that third book. But go to the link in my bio and you can get one of these 2 books now.